Alibaba online to show. This is Owen from Shining Machinery. Now is the night, the middle night in China now, and so today our online show is little different. We are not in the workshop. We are not to see the iron, crude steel machines today. I just want to explanation and extract some details of the Particleboard and the OSB production line. So today our main lecture is just to introduce our production line by this drawing. Today is no machine again, just me and the drawing. But not upside, because today maybe it's more details I can explanation. And so hope you can support and like today's online show. First, just introduce this. There are two kind of Particleboard production line. One is OSB. Actually, it's just a very special one. We call it all-10 strand boards. Actually, this is one used in construction, packaging, furniture, decoration, and so on. And OSB is also well-structured materials and outdoor materials. OSB had a series of features such as good stability, low material consumption, high strength, water resistance, and environmental protection. So we can also produce the OSB in different sizes from 3 by 6 feet to 6 by 12 feet. And so don't worry about your, I'm using maybe my size is different, but some is strange. Okay, that is okay. No, for our machines, we always do the OEM, that we can design and make a drawing according to your requirements. Different size, different materials, and also for the Particleboard. For the Particleboard, we just said the common Particleboard. Maybe in some area or in some countries, some is called a chipboard. Actually, the Particleboard and the chipboard is almost more than 90% of the machines and procedure is the same. Maybe there's only 1 or 2 machines difference in the production line. So we can also call chipboard or Particleboard as the same one. Okay, now for the Particleboard, actually we have 6 sections of the whole lines. The first section we call it the raw material preparation, and the second we call it dry and classification. The third we call it forming and press. Then the fourth we call it gluing and trimming. And the fifth we call it sanding. And the sixth we call it just stocking to classify. So now first we will inspection and experiment from the first is we call it materials preparation. And for Particleboard, the raw materials is what can be one used is very wide, like the footpaths of the timber, or you can buy the cut off or the trimming off of the plywood, or some rejection plywood, and the branches of the wood, and the wood logs, and also in some countries area you have buggies. The buggies, it means the crane, the leftover, or maybe like the rubbish from make the sugar, and then all the rice husks, the straw, and also some rubber wood, and also some coconuts, the coconut shell, and peanut shell. Many materials can be used for Particleboard. Now we can see here, this is a kind of Particleboard. Is you can see it's made from the straw. say from the straw. And also you can see this is also another kind of particle board they use is mixed with wood and straw and also rice husk. So many wide materials can be used for particle board. Or if you're interested in the particle board production line, you can contact with us, tell us which kind of materials do you have. So we will give you a suggestion and then your material is suitable or not. But generally speaking, maybe more than 60 or 70% of the raw materials, some left, maybe sometimes it looks like rubbish. You are make you headache. You don't know how to build them. Then contact with us. We'll give you a good suggestion and give you a design that let us make a particle board. And also second, you see, and also the OSB. Maybe some people some person cannot make it clear which is OSB, which is particle board. Now this is OSB. You can see OSB. You see there is many big pieces of the veneer. Yes, you can see it always like veneer, many big pieces like it. So this is OSB. The features, the clean and the key features is the materials process. The preparation for OSB is big pieces of veneer, then which is used for make board. You can see it. Well, it is just like layers one by one. So now, so there's also the difference that's for OSB and the particle board. First, for OSB, the first one we call it a long axle peeling machine. That's to make veneer from the log, the wood. So for OSB, maybe the raw materials is more strictly. They always need the long log and wood and some big branches. So, but for particle board, it's okay. Even smaller, even some roots of the tree, some limbs, and some very small branches of the tree can be used as the raw material. So, okay, for the particle board, the first, we can see I also have prepared some drawing. Okay, now you can see the first one is the transfer. This transfer is to transfer the raw materials like branches, small wood, rejected plywood, or some recycled wood, or some old furniture. You can see this is transfer. Actually, also continue into the belt, but this is ruler. So this is the transfer. Then transfer to the chips. The chipper, because the first machine is the chipper. Here, this one, the chipper. We have drum chips and also these chips. For the chipper, it make the trees, wood logs to the big pieces of chips. And also maybe someone want to say, sorry, I don't have the trees or logs. I only have some cut off of the plywood. So for the first one, we don't need chips. We need some crusher. The crusher will make all those kind of waste wood cut off of plywood to small pieces. Then after this crusher or maybe the chipper, then we transfer to also delete another transfer. Okay, here. Then this we call this pulverizer. The pulverizer, it means also somebody call it grinder. It means the main function is to make the small pieces of wood into particle, even smaller, very small, like this. Maybe that's why we call this particle. But if for chipboard, here there will not pyrolyzer or grinder, there will be a ring flicker. Ring flicker means they'll make the chips too smaller and make it thin. Then this is for chipboard. So there's also the key difference between particleboard and chipboard. Okay, then after it proceeds from the pyrolyzer or from the ring flicker, then will be good to the cycling separator. Why is the cycling separator here? Then there is a fan here. Here you see. Here you can see that's the materials from here. Then we have go to there. There's a fan to absorb, to blow all the materials. Then you see here at the bottom of this silo, they have some also have some tube. When this blow, this air blow, then wood is always thin and light. Then they will be blowing here. Blowing, you can see, blow to this silo. Then, like some sand, some dust, or some stone, it cannot not blow by the air. Then they will drop from here. Is a tube from drop to the land, to the ground. Then we call it the cycling separator to separate wood from the dust and also the sand, like it's stone or metal. Okay, at the very first metal, actually, before this crusher or before this chipper, we have also in this transfer, we have the metal remover to remove some metal from the wood or from all the materials, like some nail and also maybe some can, or like this. There's a metal remover. So actually, also from here, there's another metal remover. And then you can see from here, all the materials go to this. This we call is the screen, vibration screen. Here will be classified the raw materials after its pyrolyzer, after its crucible. There will be two small pieces, but in this kind of materials, we can also classify it to some big and some smaller, or some particleboard, or some is even bigger. Then we call this the core materials and the surface materials. Then, so with the wire section, always have 3 layers. The first layer is the biggest. The second layer is smaller, and then the third layers is even smaller. The first layers will be, if it's too big, it means it's too big, it will be recycled and to this machine again by the transfer, then to juice and pyrolyzer again. And then the second in the middle, we call it the middle size. Then you can see we'll go to this dryer. Because in the second size, this is some bigger or middle size. We go to this dryer. We call this core materials. The core materials. And also, see, in the bottom is the smallest. The smallest, we call it particles, like some powder, some like because maybe some like salt dust. Then we'll go to this one. This one we call is the surface materials. It's always very thin, and maybe from this structure you can see in the middle it's a big one. On the surface you can see it's like a particle. It's very fine. You can see it's fine, and after sanding you can see it's glossy, like it's smooth. So this is very small, some like a powder, sawdust. Then we will go to the surface material, so silo. Okay, see, we can see there also have, yes, you can see here, this is a vibration screen. Then just shaking shaking, because in there is some nets with different grease, different size of grease. On the top one, the grease, the size is the biggest. Then on the second is smaller. Then on the third is the smallest. Then we go to the dryer. Actually, according to the different capacity, the dryer, the diameter, the length is different. And now for the dryer, we have two types. One we use the hot air, and also we call it maybe just like a one passenger or three passenger roller dryer. Then one is by the hot air. It means in the beside is a fan. You can burn in some rubbish, burn in some coal. Then there's a fan to blow all the air. Then it come out. The second type is making by the boiler. It's heating around here, or it's inside. It's many kind of tube. This tube will be circle here. So it's drying by the need a boiler. Maybe the heating oil here will connect. You can see here the tube will connect to the boiler, and then the boiler will supply the hot heated oil. Then inside is all in the tube. So it will be by the high temperature to dry all the materials. So the second type is the more safe, and it's bigger capacity. So now after this, you can see it's here. You can see also two different silo here. Then here, this rounding one, we call this glue blender or glue distributor. Here we make the glue to mix with the materials. Actually, the glue we can use is like the Euro glue, the melamine glue, and WBP glue, or you can mix some mixed glue. And in here, you also need to add the prefix. The prefix, it means to make it to waterproof, with water resistance. Here to add all the prefix will be mixed to the liquid with all the oil. Here it's not mixed. Not all the oil is blender. The style is like the rain to spray on the top of the glue with the prefix to make it spray, or like just make spray, or like a shower. When you take a shower, it's like oil like this to make oil come. And in the middle, you can see there's like some space to just rotate and mix. It's a full, complete mix with the glue and the prefix and the rest. And also, actually, for the glue, we have just the solid contents must more than at least 60. It's better to more than 70% the solid contents. And here, okay. Now, after this, we can go to the forming machine, or we can call it the felting machine. You can see here. Also, actually, from this one, this felting machine or the forming machine is also one of the key machines of the Particleboard line. This felting machine quality can have a key inflection of the Particleboard quality. And for a Particleboard, as we know, generally speaking, can be divided into 3 layers: top surface, middle, and the bottom surface. Actually, the better quality to make it clear, and you cannot easy to find it. And also here, we can see. You see here, from here, then you go to different silo. And for the welding, we always have first the magnesium forming machine. It is the simple and also the economic one. And second, we can use the air forming machine. Air forming machine is just a filtering it, but air, the air blows. So the biggest one will be drop and the flow. The first, then is the middle, then the surface, the lights with other surface. So this air, and also now the most popular, and also the, I think maybe until now, as I experience, means the maybe the most popular and the best quality is that we call it the diamond ruler. Diamond ruler is just it's a ruler inside, it's drawing and rotating and make it so, and divide the materials into different sides. Okay, first you can see the surface materials. Maybe we go to here. We always have 3 heads or 4 heads of the forming machine. At least, you must at least have 3 heads. The first head here, we call it the bottom. Here, this junction, we call the bottom. Maybe this is more clear. First, the bottom material surface. Then go here. Then the core materials. Then go to the end is the top surface of the materials. So then this transducer is keep continue moving and forward. So just like this to make it then 1 layer, second layer, and the top layer. And the better one, it have more heads. And until now, all of it is have 5 heads. 5 heads means the very fine, the smallest, then smaller, then the bigger, then smaller, and smallest. Just like this, make it to fine. 5 layers of the particle board, and to make it difficult to find which is the clean lines, to make it like the complete one. Okay, and also for this, we can, according to your size, make it the width is different, but for the length it's okay because it's the continuous, and when only when it's here, then we will cut it at the length. But before cut, we have another machine here. We call it the pre-press machine. Pre-press machine is the continuous and multi-rulers one. At the beginning, it's 2 very big ruler. You can see it's very big ruler. Then also the space is very big. Then also it's like this. In this press, then the space always like this. This smaller and smaller the gap. I think it's big, then narrow, then here is narrow. Because after it's forming and felting, the particle board, the thickness is very thick. It's very thick. Maybe it's a double or triple times of the finished thickness. And then after pre-press, it will be approached to the finished thickness. Then after the pre-press, you can see it's continue conveyor transfer. Belt conveyor. Here we use the belt conveyor. Let's see to find the right. Yes, let me find the, okay. Yes, and the drawing. I'm sorry, there's too many drawings here. You see, it's inside of this way. You see, this we call it this. The braid is the cross saw. The cross saw, it means to cut the length of the particle board. It will be but deep, and there is a mirror here, and to cut it according to different lengths that is cut and moving. Then after the cut, there is some is waiting belt. Waiting belt because we always have a requirements of the density of the particle board. So for the particle board, the size is fixed. How are we to get the density? Then the weight. So if in the same size, if the weight is not enough, then the density can be not enough. So from here, there's an electric gear here to weighting every board. If there is enough to reach the density, if not, then there is an alarm here, a warning, and to reject here, then will be recycled here to the beginning. Then it screws and parallel again and transfer to the raw material. Okay, actually between the cross, so we also have trimming saw in both sides of the belt. We always have here before. Here there is a trimming saw to just at the primary or the first trimming of for the whites to make it not so exaction to cut some cut offs. You can see here from here the cut off will be also by the belt conveyor transfer this here to the silo, because this is also just with some glue, but it's not after press, so it can be easier to make it again and to use it. Just here to the glue blender, the glue blender will mix it and mix with the glue again. So now after its edge trimming, the head cross trimming, and also the width, the electric scale. Then the next one, or we can see the heart of the Particleboard production line is the hot press section. And now you see here, the first one is the loader. We call the board loader. All this is auto system. You can see here from the belt before loading is acceleration to make it to the loader one by one. Here, yes, here you can see. Yeah, here. You can see it's actually one by one. Then it puts all the layers together to the hot press. You can see this is the hot press. Then this is the loading. Then load is to the hot press. Actually, for the hot press, in the particle line, we always have the vertical feeding direction, because it will make it not so wide to reduce the area pick up. So we always use this because it's with the vertical feeding direction. It can also first save the space, and second, because the particle board is always particle, just like a glue up without any press, it will be loose. If you make it horizontal, then when you finish, it's easy to separate and back to the particle one by one. So you just use the vertical one. Here, for the hot press, I can say is the heart of the Particleboard production line. Actually, the layers of the hot press, sometimes it's just designed the capacity of the whole line. For the Particleboard production line, the first thing we just to make sure the capacity. Then make sure the capacity means we need to calculate the layers of the hot press. For example, if the capacity is about 10,000 annual, then maybe we just use 5 layers or 6 layers, because for the annual capacity, if it's only 10,000 or 20,000, we cannot use the full automatic. We just use the same automatic, and only when the capacity is more than, I think, 30,000 cubic meter per year, then we use the full automatic. When is, for example, if the capacity is 30,000 cubic meter per year, then the layers of the hot press we always use is 10 layers or 12 layers. Then for the hot press, we always use the design as 1,200 tons of the pressure, and it's also a big difference from the common press is that the hot plating. For example, if the particleboard is 4 by 8 feet, generally speaking, if for plywood, then the hot plating is just maybe 2,700 by 1,370. But for particleboard, the size will be 2,600 millimeter by 1,400 millimeter. And also the thickness of the hot plating is also big difference. For plywood, maybe I think maybe the common thickness we can see is just 42 millimeters, 52 millimeters. But for particleboard hot press, the common hot plating thickness is just 120 millimeter. It's very big, very thick. Why? Because for particleboard, we need more pressure to make it more density, and also we need more circle, heating oil circle, to make it get a high temperature and quick press and quick reaction of glue. So we need higher pressure and higher temperature to make the particleboard to forming to form to the final products quickly. So that's why we need the big one, and also have a high pressure one. Okay, you can see for this hot press, okay, except the loading and the unloading. Also, you can see this red one. This is the big one. This like arm, like a body, is like an arm, like this. This what is this? First, to make all this is closed, the form closed at the same time. We call it the simultaneous closing device. Then we also call it closing time, to make all the pressure, all the board can share the same pressure and also the same temperature. And also, now we see this is okay, out of the hot press, then it does a loader. So actually it's like this. This one, this one, it's like this. This one we call it the hot press system. Loading, the main hot press, unloading. Unloading, that it means it will come out at the same time. There is a back transfer here to transfer the board one by one here. So transfer the board one by one this to this device. So this device looks like very dangerous. We call it the cooling. See, one layer. It's rounding and keep rotating, but it's rotating very slow. This is the root distance big is also according to the capacity of the line. If the line big capacity, then its root distance is more root distance is faster because from the hot press is more pieces of the particle board come out. Then after its root distance, yeah. We call it actually this is not a computer one. We call it cooling system. It's always one by one cooling system. The cooling system, because after hot press, all the board is very hot, so we need time to cooling. Then only when the board is complete and full, then we can proceed to the next step, the trimming. The trimming means we must cut the extra one. We must cut off and cut all the sides to the final size, to the size what we need, like maybe the size 2440 by 1220, or by some size as you need. And in this trimming size, actually, we also have different kind of trimming. If it's connected to the whole line, make it automatic, then here will be a ruler trimming saw come here. First it's vertical, then it's horizontal. Here also have the the ruler saw. And if for some customers they say no, we don't want to cut here because when you cut you have some dust, saw dust. Then we want to cut it to another workshop. It is possible? Yes, of course it's possible. Then we can use another kind of saw. Because it's automatic saw. Then this saw can be used together with plywood and other kind of panel. You can see it. Also, it's vertical and it's horizontal. So this kind of saw, after cut saw, then we will stack it because we always sanding in other area. Because when sanding, there's some sanding dust. It's very heavy, so we need a dust removal system to make it to keep and to make the workshop is clean, not so dusty. Then after sanding, we will mix the ascending. Then we can use the workers to classify, to make the board into different grades, be class A, B, and also some reject one, and also to collect the cut off to the raw material to reuse it again. And also for some customers, after sending, did not sell it directly into the market. They always laminate. Then you can see. So this is always help into in the video workshop, because laminate it need a very clean environment. Otherwise, you will get a bad quality and burning on the surface of the melamine paper. So you can see this is always use the short cycle lamination press machine. You can see here, this is for automatic one. It's secure. Then here, then take the frame to the board or melamine paper, and then fit it into the side. Actually, for the short cycle lamination, we always just have single layers, just one time, one pieces of the particle board. But this particle board, this lamination is very quick. It's always the comment. It's just a lamination both sides. Just need about from 10 to 12 seconds to finish the one press and the one lamination. Then it came out, cut off, trimming, and stacking. Then after lamination, then this is the process of the particleboard will be finished. So then can be used for furniture and for some other purpose. And also, so for the particleboard, we can not only design the machine or stage the machine. You can see you can always make the designs of your workshop, make the drawing, the machines, layout, and also your office and the dormitory for the workers, and also which area to make the raw material stock, and which area and where's the warehouse for the finished products. Then also designs all the alley, all the maybe truck, we. Then actually maybe we just have just some of maybe some friends will ask you for the whole lines, how many workers should we need? Now I will explain for you. First here for the first beginning, actually there's no laborers, just need some 2 drivers to drive the forklift to feed in the wood and the raw material to the belt transfer or the roller transfer. And in this machine, no need the worker to monitor it. The forklift driver can do it. Then go to the power riser. Here, maybe you need 1 worker just to watch it, to make sure everything is good well. Then here, the wiring screen, no need workers. And for the dryer, then we need 2 workers to make it, to watch it, to monitor, to make sure monitor the temperature and monitor the moisture. After it's the moisture of the raw materials is suitable or not. Of course, actually these 2 workers, maybe no need all the time to stand here. You can stand in the control central office, make it, because all the monitor you can get all the information from the monitor. And here, for this is a glue distributor system. Then also need 1 workers to make this all glue can supply working well, make it a continuous supplies, and also to need the 1 drivers for the forklift to make the glue tank, to make the prepare, to make it the glue pump can working well. Then here on this forming machine, okay, need 1 worker here to make sure the machine is forming well, and to make sure if the layers is clear or it's not. Then other here, as I said, this with the electric scale, then need 2 workers. If the board weight is not enough, then they will take it out. Operation, 1 worker is enough. And the trimming saw, if the roller trimming saw, so 1 worker. If you use another individual saw, so you need 2 workers. Then for sanding machine always now have 2 workers, it's enough. And for the lamination press, then you need 2 workers. So actually, totally for the whole line of the particleboard, the workers, maybe 1 shift, you just need from 36 to 45 workers. This all depends on if your workers is skillful enough, then you can use less. Or if you have some rich experience for the particleboard production, then maybe less workers can be also is okay. And also, except this kind of workers, you need a engineering group or training group. This must about 5 or 6 persons. One, we call the production manager. The production manager must know the whole line's working conditions, know knowledge about how to make plywood, how to make particleboard, use like the glue, which kind of glue, what's the content of the rags, and what is the content of the solid of the glue, and how percentage of the glue rate between the glue and the particle and the woods, and also to control the moisture, also the temperature of the hot press and the temperature of the drying. Then the production manager, maybe he cannot do debugging or cannot repair the machine himself, but he must have experience and rich knowledge for the whole life of the machines. And the second we call is one mechanism engineer. This mechanism engineer, he just do the maintenance and the troubleshoots. The engineer must know very exactly of the performance of each machine. Maybe if you don't find this kind of engineer, then you need to find two. These two workers may know clear about the whole lines. Then the third, you need an electrical engineer. The electrical engineer to make sure all the motors, all the electric device, all the electric parts are working well, and to if there is some problem, they can solve it. And then the fourth, it means we call it the how to say we call it the shift. Shift means always have 3 of this kind of person. This kind of a person, it means the machine or the particle line, it always run the whole day, about 24 hours. So you cannot use just one worker to working from the morning to to tomorrow's morning. So you need shift. So this is the shift manager. One shift manager, he will know, maybe not very clear, but is know to how to manage the workers, how to guarantee the line working well. His function is to manage the workers and monitor and the general manager in the control central room. So this is depend on how shifts one day you have arranged for the production line. If you have 3 shift workers, then you need 3 of this shift manager. If you have only 2 shifts, one shift maybe about 12 work hours, so it's okay. You just only need 2. So this is the workers what you need. And also, something said, if you can give some economic details that we can calculate the cost of the plywood, and maybe we can to see if we can benefit it from the sale from the market. Okay, this we have because we are experienced enough. It's more than I think 26 years for this kind of particleboard line. So we have economic detailed sheets data. Then if you need, you can send our information and leave your email address. Then we can send you by email about it, because this sheet is including many things, many details. I cannot explain you one by one, but I can tell you first, 1 tons of the wood, you can get 70% of the particleboard. It means 1 ton of the wood, you get 0.7 tons of the particleboard, or just like this. But in the beginning, you can add glue, add rags, and some another chemicals. And also, For the particleboard, you can really say for the particleboard, if we use for the furniture, is it strong enough? Okay, I think it's well. It's no problem because now I think most of the furniture now has started to use the particleboard because the particleboard, the density we always control it between 550 to 800 kilograms of per cubic meter. So I think that is enough for you to dig the nail and to use some bolts. Then also, if you want to depends on the wood what you use. If you for example, if you only use straw or rice husk, so maybe the density of the straw density is will be less. It will be like soft. Maybe so. In this case, you can mix with some hardwood to make it stronger, to make it have a high density. And also for the whole lives, maybe some friend wants to say, if we place orders, how long can I get your machines? So actually, we have also considered it. If you are not so agency, so they always that after we finish the whole life of the machines, it's about 6 months. But if this is based on the capacity, 6 months it means for 30,000 cubic meter or 50,000 cubic meter, maybe you have 10,000 cubic meter per year. Then maybe you have a longer time. But we have another way to reduce or to shorten the time for production. Like at the 3 months, the first 3 months, we will start or begin to ship to deliver some parts maybe just from the beginning. Then the first shipment at the first 3 months, after we get the order, get your down payment, maybe get your LC, then maybe this place, then we will send our workers, our engineer to your factory and start to installation. Then after 1 month pass and means on the 5th month, then we arrange the second shipment. When the second shipment arrives your workshop, then the fourth shipment installation maybe is just almost finished. Then you will installation the second shipment. Then after the 5th month, then the third shipment will be delivered. Then maybe at the 6th month, you will get it, and maybe you also get half installation of the production line. Then, if you don't like this, you said, sorry, I don't like the partial shipment. I like one shipment. It's okay, no problem. 6 months, or if have in hurry, then we can make it to 4 or 5 months. Then we ship together. Then maybe after from 3 to 6 months, we need time to installation and debugging. Then after installation debugging, maybe you ask when your workers leave. Don't worry about it. Our workers, our engineers will stay in your workshop, and to guarantee your workers, your production manager, all the live machines can make the particleboard normal. Then we'll leave it. And also, even when we finish the installation and debugging course, when you have problems, we can also send our engineer to your workshop and to your factory to help you. And in the first year, after the first year, not means the shift the first year, after finish installation the first year, you can just pay for the tickets for our engineers, okay. Then if no salary requires. And also for the particle line, And also you will be also know how big of the workshop should be built. Actually, it's hard to say. Also, it depends on the how much, what's big of the land that you have. If you we only have 3,000 square meter, it is okay. Yes, it's okay. Then we will make all the machine just in a circle one, like this. Yeah, circle one to save the cost. It's okay. But if our workshop is big enough, then we make it the straight line one. If it's less, if your workshop is less, then we'll make it in a straight line. Then as the workshop is just a square, then we'll make it like a circle one. And also it's a different capacity. If we have big capacity, then maybe we have the longer and the bigger of the roller, and also the bigger of the hot press. Then you will take more area of your workshop. And also, I'm sorry, this is just our first time to make the Particleboard. How to guarantee that we can make it okay? Make it well. Okay, don't worry about it. If you don't know how to make it, you can send 2 or 3 persons as maybe your production manager, maybe your engineer, come to China. We will arrange you to do a training call or to working in the local or in a Particleboard factory, and until you think, okay, I have know it. We have familiar with this. We can manage ourselves. Then it's okay. But for this kind of course, this kind of course is not free. You should pay to the Particleboard factory some learning fees. I think maybe you can understand it because it's just a technical. It's not for the factory. Sometimes the technical is a secret. It's have some want to need as a high profit. It's a high cost, and also now we have finished the Particleboard production line. Now we have the OSB. For the OSB, actually, all the whole lines, it looks like similar to the Particleboard. Yes, frankly speaking, except the beginning of the line, the rest is the same. First, the beginning, as I instruction at the beginning, the first one is just for the Particleboard, the first machine is the chipper, the drum chipper, or maybe the disc chipper. But for the OSB, the first machine is the peeling machine, long extra peeling machine, to make the wood into the veneer. And so the second, it just make we call it crusher to make the big chips to the small chips to the veneer. We call it veneer crusher to make the whole sheet veneer to small pieces. Like this. Small pieces of the veneer. We call veneer crusher or veneer cutter to the different size, maybe a different thickness to make it. And also, and another raw materials resources that you buy all the rejected one or the unqualified or some veneer cut off from the veneer peeling machine. Because for the veneer peeling machine, all the waste veneer, they are useless for the veneer factory. Maybe they just burn it. Then you can buy at a very cheap price this kind of veneer and use it as the raw materials of the OSB. Then also for the OSB, the dryer maybe it's not seem like it's to make it control to difference. It's always just know this wiper screen. The dryer maybe just in one is okay. Then glue mixer is also different. because this kind of veneer, if you use the same glue blender, then maybe it will be difficult to make it. Then glue blender. Also, the key difference is the forming. This forming machine is only just for the OSB structure. Yeah, this forming machine is just for OSB structure. You can see from here. Okay. You can see with some alternate structure of it. And also after the hot press, then here after it's same until no clear difference. Now you can see this dryer. Yeah, you can see this dryer is for the OSB, and also you can see this dryer. This dryer is for the Particleboard, so also you can see it's difference. But for the hot press, actually it's the same. And for the treatment saw, it's the same. But and also another difference. Maybe for the OSB, not much sanding. Some factories even don't have sanding machine. But for Particleboard, they always have sanding process. And also now, we can review today's our instruction for these two lines. Maybe from the drawing, it's difficult for you to make it clean. But if you're interested, we can send you the detailed sheets and also videos and photos. Then you can make it maybe it's more clear about it. And of course, the price between these two lines is also have difference. OSB maybe investments at the same production capacity. OSB production always have a higher investment, but in the market OSB both price is also higher than the common Particleboard. So invest OSB or invest Particleboard. You can think it, and it's better to the research of your market, which one is more popular, and all your investment is which one is better for you. So I hope today I have make it clear, have a clear instruction for the Particleboard and for the OSB or even for the chipboard, because I'm using today it's also the middle night in China, and in the workshop it's very dark. We cannot see any machines, any details. Hope you can enjoy today the instruction for you, and thank you for to share the middle night with me. And I think today our middle night program now is we need to say goodbye to you. Thank you very much.